What I want to do now is show you how we can go through multiple steps by utilizing something called our edit history. So first of all, I'm going to make a few random edits to these events on our timeline. This second event, for example, I'll just trim its length. And in actual fact, what I'll do is I'll left click on it and drag it over the top of our first event. Now, I'm purposely doing this because what I'm trying to do is what we've done in the previous tutorials where we swapped one event's position for the other. But you'll remember, to be able to do that, we have to right-click and then drag it over that particular event that we want to swap it with. Well, I've not right-clicked, I've purposely just simply left-clicked, so this isn't going to work. Well, I say it's not going to work. It's not going to work in the sense of we're not going to swap events. What's now going to happen is, when I do this in a second, this second event will paste over the top as a copy. It'll paste over the top of our first event. So I'll left-click and drag it to the left, and there you'll see that our second event is intact, and you'll see the small thumbnail view there. Well, that's now exactly the same as our first event. We can just about see the bass guitar. Okay, now I want to make some more edits, so I'll grab my third event at the beginning, left click, and I'll trim away the beginning from it, and why ever not, I'll trim away the end as well. Okay, now if I just grab here and zoom in, you can probably see the thumbnail views there for event 1 and 2 a little bit more clearly, and there is the bass guitar. Event 3 remains intact, apart from editing it in terms of trimming the beginning and end, but it does remain as the third event. Now you might think by selecting our first event, because we've got it wrong, you might think by selecting it and hitting delete, that would remove that pasted event, our second event, to be positioned on the first event. You'd imagine it would just remove it and our first event would come back. But no, as you can see. So I need to undo that. So I'll come up to my undo button and click on it, meaning of course now our first event takes on the second event as a pasted copy. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to root through the edit history, i.e. all the changes that we have made. If we could see them as a list, then we could work our way back through this list to find the particular edit point where we went wrong. And of course you can do this. Next to your undo button, you'll see that drop reveal arrow. Click on there and now you'll see 5 edits, and this is our edit history. At the top we can see size event, the second one is size event, but you'll see our third edit is the paste event. And so we need to go back to that step. We need to go back to the paste event step to remove it, because that's where we went wrong. So it's as simple as just rolling down to there and clicking on it, and then that removes the last 3 edits in our case to take us back to our position where we made that mistake. We've not gone right back to the beginning, we still have 2 edit points that we made. As you can see, if I click on the drop reveal arrow once more, we can see that we made 2 other edits, these 2 size events, where we trimmed. Now, by contrast, if I click on the drop reveal next to the redo button, well, we also see an edit history list as well, which then, of course, would allow us to move forward through our edits, in case we subsequently decide, well, actually, that's what I did want to do. So, for example, with the paste event there, well, perhaps I really did want to do that. Of course, I wouldn't in the real world. This is just an example. So by clicking on there, paste event, in our edit history, you'll now see down on our timeline that that pasted event from event 2 is now positioned as event number 1. Now I really don't want this, so I'll click on the undo button. Okay, so that's it really. I think undoing and redoing are fairly self-explanatory once we've gone through the process at least once. It's just a matter of remembering the 3 different methods of achieving that. But now we've been introduced to the edit history, I think you'll find this a very useful function. Okay, right, we'll leave it here and I'll see you in a moment.